Welcome back to another video of my science lab, everybody. As you can see, I am very excited for this video because I will be showing something very special. And no, that is not watching me clean up those matches that I haven't cleaned up yet. So I'm just going to push those aside because we will not be using matches in this video. And but today I will be talking about the pH levels and the different types of litmus. So as you can see, like I showed you in the last video, we got a stack and some more of pH paper, and we've also got a bottle of litmus and a bottle of C20H14O4. So now these are all things used for indication of chemicals. I will not be using these papers today, sadly, but you will hopefully you'll be happier that because I will be using them in a future video. This is a basic type of pH paper that you would use in your chemistry class at school, and it just has the 1 to 14 normal base scale. We've also got this type of paper that you'll also probably use in your high school chemistry class, but you will definitely not use in your elementary classes. Now, this is a white type of pH paper. So as you can see, there is this word, which I do not know how to pronounce. Tell me how to pronounce it in the comments below, please. Thank you very much. And it's the same thing as this thing, which is C20H14O4. I think it's clear enough for you to see. And now, this stuff is white, but it will not work with any type of liquid that has a pH of 6 or higher. No, 6 or lower. And 7 is neutral, so it might work, it might not, I'm not sure. So you can tell me down below in the comments. But it will definitely work with things that are 8 all the way to 14. So this thing can only detect alkalines. And this thing is still useful, even though you might think that it is useless. Now, we have this type of litmus paper. It's literally the white one, but this one's blue, even though it's kind of purplish colored. And this thing can be used for different type of liquids that the yellow litmus paper cannot, like colloids. Now, we've also got a red litmus paper. I know it looks pink, but it's red, okay? Just don't argue with me. So, I'm not mainly here to showcase these stacks of litmus paper, so let me put them back where they belong. But I'm mainly here to showcase these two bottles that I have. We've already have a bottle of C20H14O4, which you can see right here. As you can see, it is pretty much clear. So, let me take out 2 test tubes for the occasion. Let me put that aside and those aside, because we only need to make room for our beloved test tube rack. Okay, let's put those there because I'll need those in a while. And I'm going to put those apart so you can observe what is going on. But first, we must put in some water, and my distilled water jar is running extremely low, so I will be adding some more. Okay, and when you're finished, don't forget to put a paper towel over it, secure with a rubber band. But a handkerchief or tissue paper also works, but paper towel is what I'd personally recommend. I'm going to pour in about 1 milliliter of water to each test tube. There we go. It's about 1 milliliter, so don't just deal with it. You've got litmus, which we'll be putting in this container, and we've got C20H14O4, which we will be putting in this test tube. So, we will be adding in something alkaline to the second one. Let's start with the second one. If you have OCD, please don't judge me, because I do too. So, we'll be testing out 2 pretty strong alkalines. We got 100% sodium hydroxide, which is very bad for your health, and it can eat away at your flesh pretty easily. This stuff is found in cleaning material, like the ones that your parents might use to clean the stove or the oven, because the grease there is pretty hard to clean, so you have to use this stuff. But even in the detergents, it's only like 0.34%, so it's pretty low. This is 100%, so it's really powerful. and we'll put that there because we will be using this one first, which is calcium hydroxide. I know it's a bit blurry, but I think you can still read it. And like you've seen in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, please do so right now. We will take out this lid and we will put it like this on the table so that the inside doesn't get dirty. Now this thing is also a pretty strong alkaline. So if you are doing this at home, please wear gloves, or I don't know, just wear gloves, not the type of gloves that you will wear when you're going out to play in the snow, but more like gloves like these, like the ones that you might use to, say, clean the bathroom, or the gloves that your dad might wear to clean the stove. So I'm gonna put those on right now, as you can see. There we go. So I'll try not to disturb this liquid, because if the dust at the bottom mixes with the liquid, it will be impure. So we will take in some. And if you remember my last video, I showed you how you should never hold a dropper like this, because then the liquid inside it will go into the rubber part and it will eat away at the rubber. Now when you are dripping stuff into a test tube, you want to make sure you're holding it like this. So you don't want to touch it like this, because then the liquid will go onto the side and that will make your experiment very inaccurate. And that is something I forgot to explain in my last video. So forgive me, everyone, but I'm going to drop 2 drops in. So that's 1, 2. There we go. So I'm just going to give it a stir, and we'll put the rest that is unused back into that container. Seal the lid. Put it somewhere where your pets and little brothers/sisters cannot find it, because if they drink it, they will be doomed. And we will drop a little bit of this stuff in. Now you can see this also has a little bit of powder in the bottom. So we want to make sure we don't disturb that powder. Now, it's a little bit hard to not get this liquid into the rubber part, but you just don't want to squeeze it all the way. So I'm gonna drop in 2 drops. 1, 2. Okay. Let's see. There we go. I had to do 3 for the reaction to actually begin, but you can see it's turning pink, / magenta, / purple, whatever you want to call it. But I'm pretty sure you all noticed a color difference. The first liquid that you saw was clear. Now this one's turned slightly pink purplish. That is because of this material that reacted with it to produce a alkalinic result. Now this is what is called an indicator, meaning that it will show you if the solution is acidic or alkalinic. Now this type of indicator will only work on alkalinic substances. So you want to make sure that when you're testing with this thing, that you might want to make sure that your liquid is alkalinic. Otherwise, no effect will take place. So we'll put that there, and we'll observe if there's any color changed through the next few minutes. But meanwhile, we will move on to this. Now, we will use litmus, and as in my previous video, you have seen me demonstrating with using this little iron spoon. Before you use it, make sure you wash it, and you want to scoop out a little bit. This is black, it kind of looks like charcoal, and there's not a lot in here, so I'm going to try to use as little as possible. Say, how does that look? So, let's throw that in. And the same thing with powders. You do not want to get it onto the side of the test tube, as it will waste powder, and it'll be not so good for your financials. Okay, so we'll seal that up, and we will give it a little mix. Now, okay, so I'm gonna try to get the particles on the edges to come off, but there we go. I think that's good enough. And as you can see, this stuff is bluish. It's almost completely black. So let me try dropping some sodium hydroxide into it. Now, make sure you clean your dropper. So I would personally do it twice. And let's take some of that in. Here we go. I'll put some in. Interesting. This is one I expected. I expected it to turn something like a different color, but nothing really seemed to happen, which kind of disappointed me. Now, moving on to more interesting parts, we see that this thing is now turned more pink, which I'm probably thinking is that this liquid started to combine more with the what's it called? The calcium hydroxide, yes. So I'm gonna clean my dropper, put it back where it belongs, like in your chemistry set chest, which I have, or putting it in a place where your pets or little brothers slash sisters cannot get it because it is made of glass. Now, when you're using a dropper on highly acidic or highly alkalinic material, you do not want to use a plastic dropper because it will eat away at the plastic until it spills out and start to dissolve and do more harm. So you always want to use a glass test tube or dropper, I meant. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe. Stay tuned for the next video. And as always, leave videos ideas down in the comments below. Check out the playlist that I will have right here in a moment. And, well, you know what I mean. Thank you and goodbye.